right, all right, all right. We've got another game in chat with our friend Adam Loper. I'm Matt Sears. This is for the Dragon-Fall Charitable Foundation. Thank you for checking it out. Adam is well known, I would say, for tabletop minions.
And also for being a fire mage.
Yeah, exactly. You're a great fire mage.
Right, hang on. Just stand still.
Okay.
I'm going to do a magic trick.
Oh, it looks real pixelated this close.
Yeah, that's not good.
So yeah, we are enjoying this Vermintide game, and it features Skaven for the most part, aka Vermin, and
Rat people.
Nurgle.
Rat people got no reason to live.
And we both have a different kind of reason for. I mean, we came to the same of loving Skaven and Nurgle. We'll let this guy talk.
Down in the ruins of now,
but yeah,
Skaven are paranoid
little buggers.
You're going to sneak in,
kill their warlord,
and
watch the chaos unfold.
I'd love a full scale.
Oh, this is a long one.
But at the very least, I think we'll delay the work on the skitter game.
We'll make short work of it.
Oh, don't look at me like that.
Oh,
You
totally.
know you'll
Yeah,
enjoy it once
I'm a
you're
professional Vigia gamer.
So-
These two factions I think are really interesting, or at least to me they're interesting in this game just because I always thought Skaven are cool, although I didn't until just recently get to start kind of modeling them and using them in a game. I'm finally playing some Skaven in Warcry.
Yeah,
It's a smaller skirmish.
in my only painting and hoping to play childhood,
Yeah.
had a bunch of. I still have my Skaven warp fire thrower that I painted up when I was 12 or 13. And I just loved the aesthetic of them, and I loved the lore, and it was mostly lore driven because back then I wasn't playing, but I kept painting them until I bought a Doom wheel, and I was like, I don't know how to pin. I am 12, and that was the end of that for an extended period.
Back when the Doom wheel was metal, yeah.
All pewter insanity. Yeah.
Yeah, that's problematic.
Yeah. But so you're doing them for war clan. What are you doing? Which clan are you doing?
It's all plague monks.
Plague monk.
I've got a group of plague monks that are 13 plague monks, and I refer to them as the 13, strangely enough.
Ooh.
And it's basically 12 plague monks with the swords and the woe staves, and then one plague monk with a sword and a book that I assumed he found, or whatever. And yeah.
13
But
being
it's,
the holy number among Skaven. They have a council of 13, which certain clans have more than one people, but it's mostly like each clan has one representative. And those are the giant clans, like Pestilence. And then there's clans that are kind of under the same umbrella. Like, I think this game is Clan Fester. Could even be one of the smaller ones. Like, there's Clan Septic. There's all kinds of, like, other gross clans. I think we see some Eshin, like, assassins and stuff like that in this.
Yeah.
I like
guys that jump on you and poke you a lot.
Mm-hmm. And the Warp Fire Thrower being Clan Skyr. So, I mean, I just loved the lore of, like, the different, like, clans and how they're all, like, backstabby. My favorite.
I think that it's smart to make them not all work together, because honestly, if they did all work together, then it would be pretty much unstoppable.
Yeah, well, there's more Skaven in the Empire than people. But, like, so
right,
what about the miniatures? Because you're more hobby-centric and I'm more story-centric.
Sure.
What about the miniatures that appeals to you?
I think a big thing is that they have a lot of different styles. You can go from the plague monks, you can go from these sort of like little naked dudes we're looking at right now.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at the storm fiends and storm vermin and stuff like that, who are almost like the storm fiends are nearly almost robotic. Like they're so augmented, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's really interesting.
So storm fiends, to
course,
the people that are unaware, is it's a giant rat for clan Moors that was basically a pastiche of different animals until it's a giant behemoth with a cannon on one of its arms. or a warp fire thrower. I mean, here,
All kinds of crazy stuff.
here we go. We talked.
There's one right there.
We've summoned one. So this
Yeah,
guy's
there
got
you
a
go.
warp fire thrower on him. You can't really see him right now because he's being a dick.
No. Yeah, he's kind of being a jackass. I'm not a real big fan of him. I'm gonna set him on fire and see how he likes that.
He doesn't.
I'm not a big fan of it either, really.
Yeah, he's got a little handler on the back, which is funny.
Well, he did.
Get that loot die.
Oh, man. So anyway, yeah, I just like that kind of aspect and the different type of things that you can get from these guys. And then I also just dig. I mean, like they have very expressive faces. The same thing is like the Beastmen in also in Warhammer, the Goat people. They also have super cool little faces that are just very expressive.
Are you saying we're going to buy the Vermintide expansion once we get better at it?
Maybe because it's got Beastmen in it, doesn't it?
It is only Beastmen. Did I tell you about the animatic of it? It's like a whole like a noble family coming back from war after fighting Beastmen, and then they have a baby who's a Beastman, and then they put him in the woods, and then he rises through the ranks, and comes back and kills his family, and well by murdering the whole town.
That's a story.
Yeah, it's a story I want to. You don't get to play it because we're going to play as these guys, but
Sure, yeah.
I want to smash that guy's face.
Yeah, that sounds kind of cool.
So right now we're in a dwarf ruin, and the big thing with these bastards is they've got so many like underhives that they've kind of like killed. Like under Altdorf, they've got the population of 120,000 Skaven, which is just insane to me. So if they weren't always fighting each other, they'd win.
That's the whole idea, I think, behind the story that makes it so interesting.
So what of the 13 miniatures in your warband, what are they?
Like I said, there are 12 regular plague monks that have a sword and a woe staff, and then there's one guy who's the leader, and he has a sword and this basically what makes him the leader. There's what am I trying to say? Like, Warcry's got a very different. It's a much simpler kind of game. It's not designed to have like lots and lots and lots of stats and super like it's designed like you only have maybe 3 or 4 different ways that you might build units in the game for every army. You'll have like I could technically have gone with 2 swords on all the plague monks instead of the sword and the woe staff. I wanted the extra kind of reach because the woe staff being longer allows me to get like a 2-inch reach instead of just a 1-inch, for melee. And so that kind of stuff I think is really interesting, but it doesn't get like super deep as far as like, oh, you can change this and make this guy the banner carrier and make this guy the musician and all that kind of stuff. It simplifies things a bit, but you can also run. I think you can run Storm Fiend in that game.
Really?
Warcry, so there's a lot of different things you can do in it.
It might be a little bit too much hobby for me. I'm not. That stuff kind of scares me, like the big guys.
Yeah,
but
I own a Storm Fiend and I've built him, but I don't know if I'm going to run him or not. I have to look at the lists. But yeah.
Because you're so competitive as a player.
Well, I mean, I just got to figure out, like, if the guy that I've got plastic, built currently, if I can even use him legally, because the Stormfiend kit comes with a lot of different
doodads
permutations
and
that you can build. Yeah.
So you need to check and see whether the cannon arm or the warp fire thrower arm is legal, and they've got the whole warp fire Jezzails and all that stuff. So
exactly, yeah.
Well, we got a storm vermin that I'm beating to death on the ground right now, and they're kind of like their actual like the black-haired rats are.
And they've got more armor and stuff like that, and they frequently have some sort of pike or spear or something also.
Well, I think it's just the black rats are always bigger, and the white-haired rats are always sorcerers.
Yeah.
So it's certain clans actually are more powerful because they give birth to more of the different breeds.
Yeah.
Why do we have an elf? Oh, because someone joined us. We have it set to have no elf policy unless it's an actual person.
Oh, yeah. Carl Hollywood. I'm assuming his real name.
I actually, when my old band, named Time to Die, named after a Void song, broke up in Hollywood, and we were staying at a guy named Carl's house. So, Carl Hollywood, if that's you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Say hi. How you doing?
Yeah. Like, he had a bunch of, like, VHS, like, horror movies, and then I occupied my time while everyone else was fighting, watching Death Sauna and, like, stupid stuff like that.
Nice.
So, back to these stupid rat guys that we are just mowing down.
It's true.
Like, it's a good thing that
I just
they
like the
breed so
modeling.
quick.
Yeah, that's true too. I don't know what my special ability does here. Like, I have this kind of sniper staff, but I don't know what, when I hold down the left trigger, what does.
I don't think that changes with weapon.
Yeah, it does with my staff.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. It usually either gives me, like with the fireball staff, I can either do a big fireball if I do the left trigger, and if I do right trigger, I just do a normal small fireball. But I have to charge up the bigger fireball. With this staff, I don't know. I gotta look at it. The other guys that we fight usually in this game, although I have not seen any of them so far yet in this battle, is Nurgle.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see any Nurgle in this.
Yeah.
It's funny.
But that's one of my other favorite kind of flavors of
Dude,
bad guys.
Me too. Like,
yeah.
I liked playing as Khorne more.
Like in the actual game, and like in 40K, you mean?
Back in the day, yeah.
It's a little bit more
forgiving,
aggressive.
Yeah.
Well, that too. Whereas, like, at least in 40K when I was playing, Nurgle was just like, they're incredibly hard to shift. Plague Marines and stuff like that. They're just really hard to get off an objective, but they're not powerful, or they're hard to do, you know.
It's hard to kill them.
Cool things with. Well, it's hard to kill them, but it's also hard to do cool things with them because they don't go fast, and they don't. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like Khorne is a lot about charging and getting up in people's faces, you know, berserkers and such. So I don't know. But with the fantasy versions of things like that, I love like the Putrid Blight Kings. That's what I'm painting on Twitch right now. Is a group of Putrid Blight Kings for Warcry.
I've watched way more of that than I ever thought I would. It's been pretty fun.
Well, I mean, because it's honestly me basically just talking to the audience a lot, which is why lately I haven't been getting a lot of painting done. You know,
sure.
If I was just sitting and painting these guys without people, you know, to talk to,
oh, they'd be done weeks ago.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. But that's not the whole point. I mean, it's more about me being able to teach people some stuff and also be hopefully some entertaining, you know, or whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I really love the Nurgle stuff as well. And again, from a modeling situation, I love them because there's just so much detail. You can just there's so much detail, but also if they're grungy and dirty and icky, that's the whole point. So if you just decide to paint them with something, you know, a little bit more, it's cool.
As far as the Chaos Gods go, you've got a dirty, grimy, old world thing. And Nurgle comes to you when a plague happens and goes, hey, you're not going to die if you worship me. Okay, sign me up, you know, like they make way more sense than like some of the other ones. Like I understand like the knowledge, the search for knowledge and stuff like that for Tzeentch, but I don't understand why there's a lot of shock troops for Tzeentch. You know, like I understand why like a common person would be like, okay, yeah, I will worship Nurgle if you're gonna save my family. Yeah, we're gonna have weird pustules and stuff like that, but like this is self-preservation. I
mean, I'm not gonna look good naked anymore, but I'll still be alive. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna get a lot of dates. Let's just say that. But still, kind of living forever. Yeah, I really enjoy painting them and modeling them, and you can always go through and mess with like mess with the you know, I want to add more texture to the skin. I want to do, you know, all kinds of things. You can do a lousy job with green stuff, and it looks okay because they're Nurgle,
you can noodle those with those miniatures for ages.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, so there's not a lot of full-blown like Blight King kind of big fat guy Nurgle in this game, but there's a lot of like not Nurgle cultists, but like Nurgle foot troops and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I think if we saw a giant Nurgle demon, in fact, they've got more Nurgle sorcerer stuff in this than anything.
yeah, they have. Yeah.
I would say this game has a better representation of Skaven than it does of Nurgle. Probably.
Yes. Oh yeah. You seem far more Skaven than you see Nurgle.
Yeah.
But you still see
Vermintide.
Nurgle. Yeah. Makes sense.
Let someone help you, wizard.
Oh, looks like I'm low on health. I did not realize.
I can give you a potion if you need it.
I got a medical thingy. There we go.
That is a Plague Wind Globadier. They throw glass little canisters of disease at us.
Kind of jerks is what they are.
Do you wish there was a version of this game where you could be the Skaven, wave after wave of Skaven attacking the heroes? Because I kind of do.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I mean, I don't know. There's so many games where that you don't get to play the bad guy, or you know, whatever.
I remember the first game back in the day I could play as the bad guy. There's another health thing right here if you want to grab it. Was the Jurassic Park Sega Genesis game. You could play as a raptor.
Oh
And
yeah, I vaguely
do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the first game I ever saw them like turn the tide on that, and I was like, it was super hard, but I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, I would like to. Well, I loved playing. Talking about being the bad guy, I loved playing Aliens vs Predator. Did you ever play that?
Mm-hmm.
Aliens vs Predator on the PC was spectacular because if you were playing multiplayer, there was a game mode called Last Man Standing where you started off and you were just one xenomorph versus the Colonial Marines. So all your friends were Colonial Marines and you were just the one xenomorph, but you could crawl around on the ceiling and be silent and drop down on people and kill them and all that stuff. And then once you killed the Colonial Marine, now there were two aliens. And then it kept going until there was just only, you know, like one Colonial Marine left and stuff. So that was cool.
It was like
I would
a
like to
virus
see a Skaven
spreading.
game like that.
Yeah.
I would like to see, like, you know, like a game where, like, there's, like, one Skaven and then, you know, you get to go from there until there's nothing left and only, you know, everyone's Skavens or whatever.
So if you're playing like an infect type thing, do it as Nurgle.
Yeah, that's a good point, too. Because really, this game is basically Left 4 Dead.
Oh yeah.
It's very much Left 4 Dead, which if you've played that, it's a zombie game. And there's like 4 like survivors, and there's zombies, different types of zombies.
And then
big
there's some
zombies.
special zombies, which they're just
Yep.
special characters in this, which makes more sense than
Yep.
special zombies.
Yeah, certainly. But yeah, this is of course, however, much more interestingly as far as the terrain. Like they're so vertical and stuff like that. Whereas you know the other game is, I don't know, Left 4 Dead's fun and stuff, and it was a huge seller.
It's
but-
more realistic, as in like you're fighting through like shopping malls and stuff like that. You know, like I get it.
Yeah, absolutely. And those are all kind of more thoughtful. Also, it was not as melee focused, obviously, if at all. It was predominantly designed
Shooting.
to be
Yeah, I think you could
shoot
run out of
things.
ammo and machete.
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
but
Oh, sure.
That's when that was usually game over.
Yeah. But so yeah, that's I don't know. That's why I like the Skaven. And are Skaven chaos? I mean, to some degree,
Well, now
just
they
Sigmar,
are.
yeah, they sort of are now.
The Horned Rat is their god,
Yeah.
and in Age of Sigmar, Slaanesh is dead or dormant, and the Horned Rat has taken its spot.
Yeah.
And they call it like the god of treachery or whatever, but, which is not incorrect, but
Sure. True.
but it's
Yeah, I
not
don't
like
know.
humans are ever. I don't know if that's not. I think
we done
humans
this one
can
before?
worship. We did with Brendan, and it didn't record.
Oh, okay. The Spine Mangler. Yeah, I vaguely remember this guy.
He's cute. I like him.
I set him on
Like,
fire.
he looks like a cool mini to paint.
Yeah, I got a bunch of Skaven guys. I've got what? It's like it's not the warp fire. No, not warp fire thrower. It's basically like a catapult, spike clock, plague thrower. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
That's built, and it is what do you call it? Primed, but that's what as far as I've got on now. And I can't use it at Warcry and stuff like that. So it's one of those things I was going to try to use in Age of
It'll look
Sigmar,
it'll look cool in the it'll look cool in the display cabinet.
Yeah, potentially. Oh, that guy threw me for a
So I was doing some Skaven in the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay game I'm playing with some of your regulars recently. Oh man,
Oh, nice.
he was not that hard. But I didn't get to do too much. They've just mowed through them. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
well,
like. Sam's character gets Ulrich's Fury on those Skaven like nothing. And Ulrich's Fury is like, oh, you rolled a 10 of damage, you get to roll another D10. And it's like, oh, cool.
Oh gosh.
And I've actually been messing with them lately. I had a bunch of Chaos Dwarfs, no longer canon, I don't think, in the game.
No,
But,
technically not
yeah.
regular Age of Sigmar.
But I had some Chaos Dwarf Sorcerer, and I just made up a spell that he can control gravity, because they've all just gotten really crossbow and like ranged heavy, because it's a little broken in that
Okay.
game.
Sure.
And Sam's character got shot in the ass by my buddy Aaron because the crossbow bolt just did loop-de-loops in the air with no gravity, and then just
Oh,
floated
sure,
around
yeah.
and shot Sam's character in the ass.
Oh. Oh, that'll happen.
And then he decapitated the sorcerer because he's Sam.
Yeah.
And he's pretty good at that game.
Been there before.
So yeah, Warhammer Fantasy chat basically. I don't know. I've got the itch to paint some Skaven, and I haven't had the itch to paint anything in a long time.
Well, that's cool. I mean, yeah, they're like, for me, it's a lot of priming in, like, I like to use a rattle can, mainly that is either
Green?
Krylon or yeah, but it's like military kind of green, like camouflage.
Mm-hmm.
Both Krylon and Rust-Oleum make some like camouflage paint lines, and they're great primers. So there's a couple different greens you can use, and then highlight. You can highlight easy with dry brush. You definitely use a lot of washes.
Yeah.
A lot of times those Nurgles are covered in, like you said before, pustules and stuff like that. You can paint
Well-
those just like with a dot of like ivory, and it looks like a white head, like a zit, and that kind of stuff.
I was just gonna dip them. You're okay with that, right?
Yeah, if you want to, man.
Oh,
I started that way. It was, well, not started, but like I did dipping for a while back, actually, before it was a thing you could buy from Army Painter. You had to go to the
I
hardware
like the-
store and buy Minwax.
I always like the Rust-Oleum camo quite a bit,
Good evening.
but I know
See,
it's
I'm a big Krylon fan, but it's really hard to find these days. I don't know why.
yeah, that's weird how that like ebbs and flows.
I get the feeling it's like Pepsi and Coke, you know what I mean? Like, if they don't pay enough to be in Lowe's, then they're not there at Lowe's or whatever.
Sure, or they don't give them the percentage. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Why is it not showing me? It's showing me the items I'm getting, but it's not showing. Oh, there. For a thing, it didn't show me what they looked like, and it's like I want to see these swords, man. I didn't get anything good, but I did get a talent point because I'm level 20.
Nice.
All right, well, Adam, tell us about Tabletop Minions. I'm sure most of the people checking this out already know who Adam was, but I just feel like we're doing a little game show here.
Sure, yeah. No, Tabletop Minions, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. It's about getting into tabletop wargaming. It's about learning about how to paint. It's about how to stay motivated. It's about all kinds of different things like that. And I've been doing it for about almost 8 years, and like I said, I did just recently get into Twitch as well, which I've been really enjoying. And,
Yeah, I've been enjoying the Twitch. It's more conversative and relaxed.
Yeah,
like, it's
much more immediate and conversational, and I'm also like, instead of me just sitting there talking like I do on the Every Other Sunday show, I'm also like painting and things like that, and showing people ask questions, and sometimes I can even demonstrate directly right on the model I'm working on, if that works, and so that's fun too. So yeah, I've been enjoying all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so that's my thing. I'm trying to help more people get into tabletop wargaming.
Hell yeah, man. All right, well, thank you for your time. This was fun. I mean, we are multitasking, sir.
Indeed, indeed.
All right.